Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at Tesla's Q4 earnings, which were very good. I was really impressed with them. I've got the Q4 earnings here. I'm going to take a look at some of the highlights from the Q4 earnings. Right now, looking at the stock is up $638, and overall that's put me up now over 150% on my position, which is absolutely insane. So we'll take a look at the Q4 earnings, and then also I'll tell you what I'm planning to do with my position towards the end of the video. So these are some of the highlights. There was a 930 million increase in cash to 6.3 billion. Model Y production is going to be ramping up to start in January 2020, which obviously we kind of knew about already, but when we think about it, we thought the Model Y was going to come in autumn and then summer, and now it's on January 2020. So that's, absolutely insane how they managed to do that. We got some news on the Model Y, and its range is also going to increase from 315 to 280 miles. And also we had record vehicle deliveries, which were really good, because I wasn't sure, because obviously we didn't have the Shanghai numbers in that. But yeah, record delivery numbers of 112,000, which was fantastic. And also there was a bit of news about the storage. We'll talk about that a little bit, of the solar growth a little bit later on. And then on the summary page, it pretty much went on about saying how much they've really improved the Model 3. Also about how they managed to return to GAAP profitability in the second half of 2019. We know Q3 and Q4 are really strong quarters for Tesla, but obviously they've absolutely smashed it off the park. Last quarter was insane, and this quarter was pretty good as well. And on the summary page, it also covered about starting Model 3 production in the Gigafactory Shanghai in less than 10 months. Obviously, we know that how fantastic that has been. And the production in Model Y in the US is going to start in this quarter, which is fantastic as well. When we just take a look at the financial summary, we can see how strong Q4 is last year in 2018. Obviously, that was fantastic how they managed to do that well. And they just managed to top it in Q4, which I thought they were going to come about just below it. So I'm really happy they managed to beat it. And you can see the drop, if you look at Q4 2018 to Q1 2019, look at that drop. It's nearly half the automotive revenue. So we know that the next quarter is always the worst quarter for Tesla. Also in Q4 2018, there was some tax relief bonuses in 2018, and they run out, and that obviously increased the amount of drops in the next quarter because everyone rushed to get them tax reliefs. But yeah, we can see that it is going to drop down in Q1, and one of my things is, obviously in Q1 2020, it's going to be a little bit of a drop there, so that's something just to be careful of. But considering the amount of good news that will be coming out, it'll be interesting to see, because we'll start to get some numbers of the Shanghai numbers, which will be fantastic as well. Obviously we didn't have that last year, so that should hopefully not have such a big gap overall. But yeah, really impressed with them numbers overall. Production wise, we can see there's been a drop in the Model S and X production, 25,000 in Q4 to 17,000 in Q4 2019. Obviously we kind of knew that was going to drop slightly because of the Model 3 demand, but there's still good numbers nonetheless. They're more niche cars. The Model 3 is kind of the big one that we want to see increase, and obviously the Model Y overall, I think with the Model Y will take more of the market, and when that does, I'm sure we won't mind seeing that S and X just drop down to something like 14,000 in Q4 2020. That'll be totally fine with that. Obviously, what I'd like to see from Tesla now is the announcement this year of a smaller car than the Model 3 would be ideal. But we'll see what happens. But that was totally fine. And then when we look at the Model 3 production, 61,000 to 86,000. That was a nice little jump in production there. And obviously next year when we have them Shanghai numbers on top of them, it's going to be a very interesting Q4. Just a little bit on the bottom as well, we can see like the solar numbers, storage deployed, the store and service location increase, mobile service fleet, the supercharger station increase, the supercharger connectors. They all pull fantastic numbers up, and as more and more Teslas get out there, I'm sure we'll see them increase as well. Some interesting numbers coming out of the Model 3 Model Y capacity should reach 500,000 units per year, and also we'll see the delivering of Model Y vehicles by the end of Q1 2020. So hopefully we start to get some Model Y numbers in that Q1 report next year, which should be around about April time, so that'll be really interesting. There's also a note down here about the Berlin Gigafactory, and that they're expected to be delivering vehicles in 2021, which is fantastic because that's another increase, because I thought Tesla would be delivering vehicles in 2022. So that's also come forward a little bit as well. So I'll be really impressed if I see some deliveries from Tesla in Berlin in 2021. And a little chart here, you look at the Model 3 deliveries by region from 2018 compared to 2019, and look at that Europe section added on now. Now imagine that what that's going to be like with that Gigafactory open next year, and also look at that China deliveries by region. That's going to have the Shanghai on top this year, so I think you can see how well the Model 3 is going to be doing when it has the Gigafactory in full flow for the Shanghai factory, and also think about them European numbers when in 2021 we get the Berlin Gigafactory. It's fantastic to think about how well Tesla's going to perform over the next 2 years. I think it's going to be absolutely crazy for the stock when we look at these chart and look how much the Gigafactory could help that chart going forward. There was a little bit of announcement about vehicle software, a little bit of a premium vehicle connectivity for the US, another little bit of an extra income. We also had the little bit of the increase of the Model Y, which we covered earlier. That was a nice little surprise as well. We had Tesla talk about how much they were doing about the energy-wise, and the 26% more than the prior quarter with the energy business, and also on about the solar glass roof. You know, little industries that are in the Tesla which people forget about because we just all focus on the Model 3 really, but you know, there's other little segments that are going on in Tesla which will help how they do going forward. Outlook wise, which is always the page I like to go to when I'm covering Tesla, full year 2020 is expected to do 500,000 units, which is insane because we were kind of expecting somewhere around 450,000. So that's going to be interesting to see how they do that. And also the solar and storage deployment should grow at least 50%, which should be fantastic as well. And obviously they're on about cash flow, and it should mostly be positive cash flow going forward, which is, let's be honest, we were all kind of hoping for that now. So that's a good thing, just to reaffirm that's what's going to be happening with Tesla. And the last little line on this page got me, and it was, we are planning to produce limited volumes of Tesla Semi this year, which I thought had gone a little bit quiet, so I'm really glad to see that down there. It'd be interesting to see what happens with that later on in the year, because I did think that it had gone a bit quiet, but there you go, another little income stream that could happen for Tesla. So guys, that's me covering the Tesla earnings today. Some fantastic numbers as you can see, and some really good news as well. Going forward, stock wise, to be honest with you, I have no plans to sell my Tesla shares. I might just trim a slight little bit, a couple of shares, but nothing major, because I think when we look at the, you know, what's going to happen in this year, 2020 and 2021, the outlook looks so good with that Shanghai Gigafactory and the Berlin Gigafactory. It should be excellent. So overall, good earnings report, and like I say, I don't really have any plans to sell Tesla shares for at least 2 years, I think, right now. So yeah, really happy with that earnings report, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and it kind of like was a quick recap into that earnings report if you were holding Tesla shares. You don't have to read it too much. And as always, guys, give the video a like, it really helps the channel out, and I'll see you in the next video.